Some of these tips are intense. My holy grail, it is something that I cannot live without, and that is,
this video is not sponsored.
welcome back, my beautiful friends, and today we're talking about something close to my heart, something that I aspire to have, and that is volume. I have fine hair, so the hairs on my head individually are pretty fine, easily weighed down, and I suffer with volume deficiency. So I've created this video to help my fellow friends, fine hair or not, to get more volume. Warning though, we are taking the volume levels to the next level. The volume tips are a little bit intense, so if you are afraid of frizz phobia, then this is not the place for you. But if you are willing to try and get volume by any means necessary, you are in the right place, my friends. And with that, let's get started. My first tip, I feel like the volume of my hair kind of like goes down with time, like the weight of gravity and like the pressures of the world just like fall in my head and like drag my volume down. On refresh days, taking my spray bottle and like retwisting and like refreshing like I usually would, but taking my spray bottle and wetting my roots in particular, like really focusing on saturating the roots, flipping my head upside down and taking the dryer and just drying my hair again. I feel like this will really help to like reset and like help the curls to go up again and like help with lifting it if it's flattened overnight. So this is something that you can do, and if it works, let me know in the comments below. This next tip is for my girls who don't mind frizz but like want maximum volume and are not afraid of getting it by any means necessary. But my next tip kind of breaks the curly girl rules, like the rules of curls, and that is taking off your diffuser and just like blowing your hair without a diffuser on full blast. Not full heat, just like a lot of air. So the air, I find, if the pressure of the air when your hair is upside down really helps to like push the hair up, I find. And since I've been doing this, I feel like I've been getting a lot more volume, a lot more frizz, but definitely a lot more volume, and I like that. And another thing that I find is that the pressure of the air kind of helps to separate the curls. So when your curls are kind of clumped together, do I have any clumpy curls? Probably, sure. Say these are kind of sticking together. When you separate them, you create more space in your hair. You create more volume. Your hair is taking up more room rather than being clumped together. If your hair was just in like one big clump, it would be a lot thinner than if it was in like hundreds or thousands of clumps. So I find that the diffuser helps to break apart the clumps without having to physically manually do it. But because it's breaking apart the curls, this is kind of where the frizz comes into play. So do this at your own discretion. I personally don't mind a little bit of frizz if it means getting bigger hair. This leads me into my next tip, and that is something that has come from you guys, and that is separating your curls when you finger coil, or just separating in general on wash day after your hair is dry. If it seems like a little bit flat, if your curls seem a little bit chunky, by separating, help your hair to take up more surface area, more volume. Also, I actually haven't separated in a video before, but I want to try. I'm very intrigued, and I feel like it's going to be like a really nice, relaxing process, just like going through, like contemplating life, maybe like having a snack and just separating. My next tip is about your haircut. So the cut that you see right here is something that I did myself last summer, and as it's grown out, I feel like it's still giving me volume. My hair isn't yet at the length where it's completely flat, but if your hair is all one length, or it's kind of like longer and feeling like really flat on top, getting a lot of shorter layers up here will help give you more lift. The lighter your curls are, the more bouncier. See how these curls are a lot fuller up here than the ones down here, and then like the longer they get, the more stretched out it is and like the less full it is. So you just want to focus on having shorter layers up here and kind of letting it taper down, and I find that that gives you a lot more fullness. So there are things that you can do when you have fine hair. My hair, I've been told my entire life how thin and fine my hair is. If I can do this, you can do this too. I personally wouldn't go see a professional because I have trust issues when it comes to scissors in my hair. I have been burned in the past, so I cut my hair myself. If you have the skills, if you have the bravery to cut it yourself, then you should do that. But if you don't trust yourself and you want to trust someone else, then you could go see some kind of curly hair professional. I've definitely seen some mixed responses in the community about this subject. Some people have had amazing results and some people have left very upset. Definitely do your research and pick your stylist wisely. I recommend meeting different people, kind of like what I did when I was shopping around for a tattoo artist. I didn't just like settle on the first person that I talked to. I talked to many people and like we had to vibe together, and if the vibe wasn't there and like I felt like the trust wasn't there, then I moved on to the next person. So I recommend don't settle. If you aren't going to cut it yourself and you're going to get someone else to cut it, make sure that you know them, you trust them, and they know exactly what you want. But at the end of the day, when you put your trust in someone else, they could mess up your head like that. When you go into the hairdresser, just always know there's like a chance that you could come out with one side longer than the other. It's a true story. It happened to me, my friends. This next pick is dear to my heart. It is my holy grail. It is something that I cannot live without, and that is my hair pick. This changed my life, it changed my volume, and I wouldn't be able to achieve the volume that I have today without it. And what I do with this hair pick is I split my hair upside down, and I pick. It's kind of going in one direction. Some of you in the comments have suggested like back combing, like going the opposite direction. I know this works well for some people, but like the idea of doing this really scares me. I feel like this works well for people who have like a flatter cuticle. My cuticle, I feel like if I'm pushing back against the cuticle, I'm just gonna create like a lot of like bad things. But let me know in the comments below, do you have curly hair, like super curly hair? Like even hair that's curlier than mine, do you back comb? And what happened? Because I don't know if I have the courage to do that. I go in the same direction because it's safe and I know what's gonna happen. Picking out your hair definitely gets results, and up here, if it seems a little flat, I'll just take the pick and then just lift it up. Just lift it all around. And of course, gravity is not my friend when it comes to volume, so if you want your volume to last, you kind of have to carry this around with you, but that's okay because it's not that big. You can like stick it in a backpack or a purse, stick it in your bra. Okay, maybe you don't want to do that, but I don't even have a bra to stick this into. It's just gonna like fall down my shirt and I lost my hair pick. My next tip is something that is very specific to me. It is not for everyone, and it is intense. Like I said in the beginning, like some of these tips are intense, and maybe you don't want to go that intense, but this tip is not using any product after you wash your hair. No leave-ins, no gels, no creams, no serums, no nothing. There is nothing in my hair. The more I add to my hair, the more weight it adds, the flatter it is. So if I'm gonna put something in my hair, it better be worth it because there comes a price to putting products in fine hair. The finer your hair fine, the more things weigh you down. Like there's some products that are going to be lighter than others and heavier than others in your hair, but I just prefer at this stage, at this point, to use nothing because I get the most volume. You get frizz, but you get volume, and I like that. Finger curling is what I do when I style my hair, and that really helps me to get away with not using product because it helps to give me lots of definition and helps to give my curls longevity throughout the week. So not using product isn't that big of a deal. When I don't use product and use like, let's say a Denman brush or just let it dry naturally, it turns into, yeah, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't really make it past day 2 or 3. So finger coiling is my secret to being able to not use product. Which brings me to my next thing, which is very important. The products that you choose to use in your hair can either make or break you in terms of volume. You want to opt for things that are as light as possible. And for me personally, I find there's certain ingredients that weigh down my hair like crazy, and I avoid these ingredients at all costs. My number 1 ingredient that I avoid is shea butter. Shea butter is so heavy in my hair. If a product has shea butter in it, I find that my hair just like completely flattens out. And the reason why I like big hair so much is because I have like a lot of face. Like this is a lot of face. It needs like big hair to match. This tip is about how you sleep, and most curly girls, I feel like everyone knows about the pineapple, and if you don't, that's okay. Where have you been though? And this is the pineapple, and I find sleeping in a pineapple or just like wearing my hair in a pineapple is pretty much like what I do on a day-to-day basis. Like I hardly ever wear my hair down. I only wear it down for you. Like that's how much I love you, because wearing my hair down makes me hot, and like many other reasons, but like mostly a discomfort thing, and also just like keeps your hair safe from the elements. But I digress. Keeping your hair in a pineapple while you sleep, I find it really helps to lift your hair at the root, and then when you take down your hair the next day, I feel like it has so much more lift, and all I have to do is just like shake it out, and then bam, you're good to go. Especially if you finger coil, like you are set. Take the time to finger curl on day one, and like your life's gonna be easy for at least the next few days. Also, side tip that I've talked about in other videos, pineapple with a satin scrunchie will take your hair game level to the next level. Yeah, so you know when you get that ring around your hair from like using something like a really tight elastic or something, it gives your hair that groove and it breaks your hair. You won't have that with a satin scrunchie, especially if you only loop it once, like really loose, then you're in good shape. This next tip is something that I've only tried once, but it did make a difference. I just forget to do it, and that is when you're washing your hair in the shower to flip it upside down and let the water run down this way rather than having it come down from above. So when the pressure of the water pushes down on your hair, this is what I'm assuming the science is behind this, the weight pushes down your hair and flattens at the root, but when you do the reverse and flip it upside down and let the water push your hair this way, it just kind of helps with gravity and the water pressure help you out. It does make a little bit of a difference, but I definitely forget to do it. And also when I flip my hair upside down, like water gets in my nose and I feel like I'm drowning. And with these tips, you have to kind of like weigh it out. Like, is it worth it? You know what I'm singing in my head right now? Comment below if you know what I'm singing in my head. This next tip is something that I've actually tried out in a video for you guys, and it went very well. It was a very successful experiment, and that is using your conditioner before your shampoo. So your conditioner can kind of weigh down your hair, especially at the roots. So by using your conditioner first, helps to keep your roots really cleansed and light, and it helps to lessen the damaging or drying effects of the shampoo while helping to give you lots of lift and volume and making sure your scalp is completely or as residue free as possible, as buildup free as possible, and this can help reduce buildup over time. So it's just a win-win, especially if you're trying to get more volume. Scalp massages. This is something that I recently started adopting into my curly hair routine, something that I was not against, but kind of like, yeah, everyone talks about it. And usually when everyone's doing something, like the inner rebel in me is like, I don't want to do it because everyone else is doing it. It can't be that great. You know what? It is. And that is scalp massages. I like to do scalp massages before I wash my hair. I do it in sections with my hands, and I also use one of those scrubby brushes to like really get in there and just break down my scalp. And all this is doing is really exfoliating your scalp. We exfoliate our face, get rid of dead skin. Dead skin sheds everywhere, and our scalp is not immune to the dead skin shedding abilities. Every time I wash my hair, I make this part of my routine. And because it's part of my routine, I can't forget. I don't wash my hair without exfoliating. And this really helps to make sure that your scalp is super clean, unclogging those follicles, kind of helping to break down any dirt or oil that's going to weigh down your hair and stop it from being as voluminous as possible. So scalp massages, it's not just good for hair growth, it's good for volume. All right, my friends, my last and final tip is definitely not for everyone. Some people have actually in the comments have said like, Amanda, this is a bad idea. Do not do this. It's not pH balanced. I use a rice soap that is actually meant for washing your face on my hair. Since I started using this rice soap, I've had pretty awesome volume results, and a lot of you have actually bought the rice soap yourself and tried it out and have been loving the volume. So that is really cool that we're doing something so different in the curly hair space. But that being said, this is not for everyone. Keep in mind, it is a face soap. Like this hasn't really been done before. Like who knows what's gonna happen to us with our rice soap washing. No problem so far, but it is not designed for hair, so user discretion is advised, but you do get amazing volume and moisture. I love rice soap. If you haven't seen that rice soap video, you can check that out. Let me know in the comments below, like I said earlier, do you have any volume tips that I missed in this video? Because I always want to know more things. You guys are so smart and so funny and have so many good tips to offer. I learned so much from you, and we learn so much from each other. So if you have any tips, let me know. And also, let me know if you try any of these tips and they make a difference for you. I know the rice soap thing has been working for you guys, so that is very, very cool. It started off as a weird experiment, but now it's like spreading, and other people are reaping the benefits of rice soap and the benefits of my weird experiments. It's good to try things, you never know, right? If you like this video and found it useful, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe to join the family. We make hair videos on this channel, lifestyle videos, what I eat in a day videos, chit chat videos, you know, all kinds of fun things. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, then you can subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.